Alright, so this is my steering system for our aftermarket autonomous driving system. It's comprised of one 9-volt battery, which provides power through this LT 3D chip into these hobby gear motors, which are connected to the steering column. It uses two photoresistors, which provide lane detection, and then this micro server, which is essentially an actuator for these two hobby gear motors to pull them in and out of the steering column. We also use this user switch for in case the user wants to take over the vehicle at any time. I'll quickly go through our code. I'm using two photoresistors instead of IR sensors, mainly because of Tinkercad simulation, although in the real world I think IR sensors would be much more useful, or even cameras. I think cameras might be more useful as well, but for Tinkercad I think this is the way to go. I'll quickly go through the code. So as we start our simulation, we will see that the photoresistors are giving the Arduino values essentially for their lane detection values. So let's say the user wants to take over the vehicle. This will turn our actuator 90 degrees, which will pull these two hobby gear motors away from the steering column, allowing for the user to take over the steering. And we see that the user activation is being sent to Arduino, which essentially turns this whole system off. And as we switch it again, we see the actuator pushes these two hobby gear motors back into the steering column, and the program functions as usual. So these two photoresistors are sending lane marking signals. So the whole concept is that as the car moves away from these lane markings, the value will get darker, which will turn the steering wheel in that direction. And then as the vehicle comes back into spec of the markers, we see that this goes back to 0, which means that the vehicle is within the lane markings. And we see that with the opposite side, this goes bright, or this goes darker, giving darker signals to the Arduino. This pulls the car back into the lane markings, and then as it does, these go back to 0. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole system. Thank you for your time.